genius of rock and roll.
Well, hello and welcome to the Daily Atheist Morning Show. I am your host, the Amazing Super Chris. Thank you for joining me this morning. I hope you can hear me and all that business. I hope you've had a great week so far. I've had a pretty good week, I guess. It's been all right, not bad. Dr. Kipp is joining me this morning. I believe Ryan may be here. We're not sure she did. She said she was going to message me if she wasn't going to be here. I didn't hear from her. But, it's I don't blame her if she doesn't come in. She had doctor stuff going on tomorrow. Hope all is well in her world. Okay, so we're going to do the sci-fi thing today. We're going to talk some Battlestar Galactica. Thankfully, as I mentioned, Dr. Kipp is here, and I'm sure he's got words about Battlestar Galactica, that the whole gods thing. So we'll be back in just a minute, and we'll do the thing. Good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining us.
Flanagan!
Yes, sir. Very disturbing, I know.
Fetch me Father Flanagan.
Your Highness.
You are in the presence of His Holiness, the Pupius Maximus, guardian of the sacred fire hydrant, defender of the holy tennis ball, and eater of the golden kibble, Pup Oliver Poopsalop the Fifth.
Your popedom. I heard you have a bone to pick with me.
Condoms, Father Flanagan?
No, thank you. I've got plenty.
That's what I mean. Why are you selling condoms?
Oh, you mean our Pharaoh Sombrero line of condoms? Understood.
You know how we feel about those around here.
Well, they're not to be used by the Catholics, of course.
Not for Catholics?
No, they're part of our Sinner Gonna Sin lack of faith outreach program.
A sinner gonna what?
It's like getting the tithe, but from the heretics and the heathens and the atheists.
Oh, well, when you put it like that.
But, Your Highness, this will reflect very poorly on the church.
True. You know what this means, Flanagan?
Warning label. A warning label on the box. Not for Catholics in big letters.
Too subtle.
Instant purgatory if used by Catholics.
I like it. Divine branding.
Excellent, your popedom. Will there be anything else?
That will be all. You may leave.
On.
Hi.
All right, and we are back, and I've got Dr. Kipp with me. Here he is. Let me bring him on up. Good morning, Dr. Kipp.
Oh, hello. Am I up now? Okay.
You are up. I hope everybody can hear you okay.
I hope so. I didn't actually open the chat window. I probably should.
No, it looks like we're doing good. We should be able to hear you. The levels look good. Good morning, everyone. Thank you, Dr. Kipp, for joining us.
Yeah, of course.
You have words. Well, let me just start. Let's not dive right into it just yet. Let me start by saying, hi, how are you? And have you had a good week?
I have had a, wow, how to answer that question. I've had a busy week and an interesting week. So working on this this monstrosity of an audiobook, which is very, very time consuming and makes me want to cry a lot. But then, and then there's just in real life stuff that's so it's been a week. So but I am happy to be here, and I am awake, and I have my coffee and everything. So yeah,
that is awesome. Let me ask you, that audiobook is for your newly released hardback, isn't it?
Yes. And you can see, I mean, it's a pretty big book.
Girthy girl.
A girthy girl.
That's right.
And this is it's not just because I thought it would be fun to do this at first, because I like, if anybody watches my stuff, you'll notice I like reading. Like I like reading out loud.
Mhm.
I used to when I used to actually attend church on the regular. I enjoyed congregational reading. I enjoyed reading from the pulpit. So and these are things that so I thought this is going to be fun. This is something I like doing. But it's a lot of work. I found I could only do about 90 minutes of recording in a day. And then the editing was hell, because the other thing I noticed is that your mouth makes all sorts of involuntary noise that you just never notice that you have to edit out. So it's like every 20 seconds, I feel like I'm inserting something into the audio just to fix it. So anyways, nobody wants to hear about my first world problems.
But I understand it. I've done a little bit of audio book not audio book recording, but just audio recording, and I'm very aware of the mouth noises. Drink a lot of water, they say, before you do it. That way, for some reason it helps.
It's so
but
gross.
Stuff like that.
It really is. When you're listening to it, you're like, oh my god.
Yeah.
What am I chewing on?
Let me say hello to everyone here in the chat. Good morning, Secular Feelinist, Equus, Why Because We Grow Theoretically. John Hudson is here this morning, probably about ready to have his movement of the day. Good morning, John. Kelly King, the Detroit Queen, is here. Good morning, Kelly. And Music by Brian is here. Good morning, Secular Feminist, says Music by Brian. Locked on Law kicked in the door early this morning. I just love it when people tell me what I believe. And that's because Music by Brian initiated contact by saying atheists believe nothing exploded and created everything. I know, right? Locked on Law, it's like, it's not what we believe. It's what we don't believe. See, that's what this individual needs to focus on. It's not what atheists believe. It's what we don't believe. That's all it is. Belief is it's what we don't believe. All right, now we've gotten past that because we don't want that to eat up our show this morning. We do have other things to talk about. I've said hello to everybody. I hope everybody has had a good week. I hope they're all ready for the weekend. Let me ask you before we get started with the I gotta say Maya's here. She said it feels like you offered something to the gods to get her to be awake this early.
I can neither confirm nor deny that I did anything to ensure that Maya would be awake this morning. So
you didn't sacrifice a night owl or anything.
Listen, I'm not saying anything. I just sometimes things happen, and yes.
Understood. We've got a lot of awesome people here. Anonymous Pie, good morning. Thank you all for joining us. Rainbow Ash. Now, for today, we're going to be discussing, for the most part, Battlestar Galactica. Now, if you're not familiar with Battlestar Galactica, that's unfortunate for you. This is going to be a very boring show.
It's not, because I'm here. But
of course.
But there's a lot, there's so much, at least things that interest me. The show is great.
Well, let me finish my intro real quick. Quick. I just want to say there's two different sections of Battlestar Galactica. They've got the original series and they've got the next the what do you call it, the reboot or the reimagining,
the reimagined series.
It's very good. So they've got two different ones, and I don't really think, and Dr. Kipp will tell us about this, I don't really think they align very much on how they both treat their gods. It's very different. So now we can launch onto it. Let me ask you first, if you will, give us a little background about each one and their gods. Carry on. Go ahead.
The original series, I was quite young when it aired, and I remember watching bits of it. Not the whole thing, not regularly. Starring Lauren Green, by the way, who's a Canadian actor, but it was quite prominently written by, who was the writer? Do you remember offhand?
The original was it De Laurentiis? De Laurentiis.
maybe. But anyway,
I'll look it up. I'll look it up while you tell your
yeah. So he was a Mormon, and much of the religious ideas promoted throughout the original series were based on Mormonism. And if you knew stuff about Mormonism, pardon?
Glenn A. Larson.
Yes, that's it. Thank you.
That's it.
So based on Mormonism, and if you knew anything about Mormonism, it was very obvious throughout the original series. Now, the creator of the reimagined series, Ronald Moore was one of them, who, in my opinion, is just a phenomenal sci-fi writer, producer, and he made this deliberate decision at the outset that he was not going to do the Mormon thing or propagate and continue with the Mormon thing, and took a very different approach with regards to religion within this series. One that I quite liked.
Yeah, me. I want to interject real quick that he is also Ronald D. Moore's partly responsible for Voyager, Star Trek Deep Space Nine. He has got lots of roots.
He got his start,
sci-fi.
I think, as a writer on Next Generation, and was there when when that show hit its stride.
Yeah. He brought a lot to the table. A lot. I mean, he did 77 episodes of The Next Generation, 128 episodes of Deep Space Nine. This guy is really he laid the groundwork for what Deep Space Nine is, and Deep Space Nine is my favorite. Anyway, I'll let you get back on. I just wanted to throw that out there. Who this guy was? This guy really brought a lot. Ronald D. Moore.
Yeah. No, It's good. So, and I think too, like maybe he's, and I should look more into this, and this is something I just thought of, but maybe Ronald D. Moore just has a strong appreciation and fascination with religion generally. Just thinking about that, DS9 is very much grounded in the storyline, is very much grounded in the religious traditions of the Bajorans. And also how that affects things, religious persecution, religious fanaticism, all sorts of these ideas really come to the fore in DS9. So that's really interesting. I think you can say some of the same things about Battlestar Galactica, because on the surface of it, it looks like the religion of the colonists looks, I think at the outset, from the outside, very much like what we would imagine a Greek religious, Greco-Roman polytheistic religious milieu set in the modern world kind of thing, or in the future. The modern future world. There's another show that reminds me a little bit of this. It's recent. It's called Chaos, and it stars what's his name? I can't believe I'm blanking on it. He did Jurassic Park and was the Fly. And why can't I? This is embarrassing.
Jeff Goldblum?
Jeff Goldblum plays Zeus in Chaos, and Chaos is basically reconstituted Greek mythology set in modern Crete, but then also the way that all the churches are churches to the Greek gods, and the Greek gods are real, and they just wander around and interact with people. But it's just very fascinating. I like these reimagined worlds of ancient magic and religion in today's day and age. It's but people should seriously check out Chaos. Is it on Netflix or is it on Prime? I can't remember.
I'm not sure. I've got it pulled up here. It looks like a lot of fun. I'm going to make a note of it so I can watch it with the evil one, because it does. I love me some Jeff Goldblum. He's great. Let me go Chaos series. Yeah,
So
he is fantastic.
So yes, the residents of the 12 colonies of Kobol have this polytheistic worldview, this religious background. They worship the lords of Kobol,
Mm-hmm.
who carry with them the names of many of the same Greco-Roman gods, such as Zeus and Aphrodite and Artemis and Ares and so on and so forth. Now, I think that the thing that, but it's also there's also this focus and this attention on this as being like a religiously pluralistic world. It's very similar to our world, right, which is dominantly Christian, but also highly sectarian, where the vast majority of people on Earth would identify themselves as Christian, but that means 1,000 different things to millions.
Very much it does.
And hundreds of millions of people, right? So there's this sectarian feel to it. So in Battlestar Galactica, you have like the Capricorns are tend to be fairly pragmatic and also somewhat ambivalent towards their religious traditions. They're like most people, I think, in the world when it comes to the question of religion. It's like, yes, I am a Christian, and for what that means is I go to church on Easter and Christmas. I write this on documentation where it's asked. I do the traditional things. So this is like the Capricorns are like this, but then that's different, right, from the Sagittarians and from the Geminis. Is that what would you call
them? And the Pythons, they were very pious too, weren't they?
Yes. And and some of this stuff too, like Ronald Moore had spent a couple of episodes exploring like the Sagittarians or the Sagittarians were so they had this view that like flesh and spirit, this was all myth, and because of this, they rejected medicine and any kind of medical interventions as part of their very religiously fundamentalist. He did a did Chris leave, or are you still there? Oh no, you're just making me, you embiggened me, didn't you?
I made you big.
Okay, no, that's cool. It scared me. There you go. But that's, now I know what's going on. So like they did a whole, it was at least one episode or a couple episodes where they explored like this question of medicine and religious fanaticism in terms of like ethical questions about ensuring that your own children stay alive in the name of as opposed to very similar to, and it's too bad Ryan's not here at the moment, but like this is very similar to what I think a lot of Jehovah's Witnesses will encounter, with questions regards to like blood transfusions, or who is it, the Church of Christian Scientism, I think, has this very strong you don't take medicine because it's right. So but it's like there's this kind of stuff going on in the show, which I think is fascinating. But what I really like in is how some of this, and I don't know how much of this is intentional and how much of this is me as a biblical scholar. I like this is one of these things that I tend to do is to read the Bible into things. Now I think that's very easy and very natural, just because within the Western world, the Bible as a foundational text has pretty much is very, very deeply informed so many elements of our life that many things that we consider intuitive are actually grounded in what the Bible says, stories from the Bible, teachings from the Bible, those sorts of things, right? So I don't know if this was intentional on Ronald Moore's part, or if this is just me reading into the story and into the show. But as I was watching it, I kept on thinking to myself, this is such an interesting, neat, subversive narrative to the conquest stories in the book of Joshua.
It's like you were watching prophecy come to life right there. I what I feel, I kind of got out of a lot of it.
Prophecy come to life?
Well, like she was doing the prophecy of Pythia, and she was telling how things were going to happen, and then you would see these things happen throughout the story. I mean, was Pythia real? Was it part of they just do this over and over again, and Pythia was just recording what happened the last time this cycled through? There were a lot of different questions I had about what was going on with Pythia and her ability to prognosticate. Again, was it from the last? Because they always go on with this has happened before, this will happen again.
Yeah, it's an overriding theme of the show. It's like, and it's sort of the note that the show ends on too, right? But it's so I think one of the things that struck me as very interesting in Ronald Moore's telling of the story, and this is I don't know much. In fact, I haven't seen the original series since I was a kid, so I I remember little bits and pieces, so I don't know much about it at all. But I do believe that this is something that Ronald Moore introduced to the Reimagined series, was this religious ideology of the Cylons. And what's really interesting about the Cylons is that they are artificial intelligence. They are this manufactured species. They were created by humans. They are also very deeply religious. And the Cylons... Yes. I would say most. But they're monotheists. So, and I believe in an interview, Ronald Moore did say that one of the things he wanted to do was kind of turn this to make the bad guys like more similar to in their religious thinking to the Abrahamic faiths, and making the good guys polytheistic. And I really like this. It's a story of like the Cylons have basically come to the conclusion that they are the future of humanity. Do they identify themselves as humanity? I'm not. That's something I don't remember offhand, or if but they identify themselves as basically the future of the species, and that in realizing the future, what they have to do is basically just eradicate all the biological humans, all the non-Cylons. So they embark, the war in the Reimagined series starts as a result of this this invasion by the Cylons and the surprise attack, and then it continues into this this campaign of genocide. There are like 50,000 surviving humans. One of my favorite, I think it's the one of the episodes that I really like is right close to the beginning. I believe it was the first one after the two-part miniseries pilot.
33.
Yeah. It's so good.
I haven't seen it in a long time, but it really sticks with you. Was it every 33 minutes, right?
I think so. Yeah.
Exhausting. Can you imagine? Exhausting. How long they'd been running like that? I don't remember, but carry on.
For people who don't know, like they are the survivors of this attack, 50,000 people. I don't remember how many ships. I don't know, 20 or 30 spaceships, you know, out in deep space, who are hanging out together and just running, just trying to get away from the Cylons who are pursuing them, because they are intent on wiping them out. And they have a 33-minute window in order to, within this universe, it's more difficult but not impossible to track people when they go through these hyper jumps. These long distance rapid
they're not supposed to be able to be tracked during an FTL jump, but for some reason these Cylons are popping in every 33 minutes. It's like it takes them that long. Yeah.
And then there's this whole episode just focuses on just how strained and exhausted everyone is, because this is what they have to do every 33 minutes. They have to wind these FTL drives up again, which takes time, and they just have to keep running. And there's no rest. There's no relief. It just it's this hopeless, endless pursuit of raw survival. It's an incredible episode, but
and the way it ends with the Olympia and the call that Apollo has to make. I don't want to spoil it necessarily. Well, I mean, if you're watching this today, you're going to see spoilers
today. Yeah,
but you know, I mean, that comes back to haunt him too later. You know, that he had to destroy that ship, but that was what was giving them away.
That's right. So
Ryan is in the chat.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, she's alive, apparently. But if you're Ryan, you're welcome to come up, because I've got questions I want to hear. Now, if you don't want to, that's fine. If you don't feel up to it, that's fine. But if you can manage, I'd really like to get you and Dr. Kipp's thoughts on what the head Gaius was, what the head 6 was. Dr. Kipp, if you're not sure what I'm talking about, because there was a number 6 in Gaius's head. Okay, that was actually kind of an entity. Who was that? Was that the angel at the end? Were they angels? And then also about what happened to Starbuck. Who was Starbuck? Now, in the original series, they kind of played it off like they were gods. But you really got the feeling it was more like a previous iteration with a lot more tech and power, you know. So that's what I thought we were going to see here. And we did see something similar. We saw Starbuck get her ship destroyed and then brought back brand new, as if it had never, you know, these kind of things happen. So I was thinking we were going to have some reveal of a higher technology. And then, of course, the prophecies.
Yes.
And the things that happened with Chief as he was leading them through some of these things. I mean, it's good shit. I got to go watch it again.
Yeah. And I have to go back and watch it too. I used to have it on a drive somewhere. I don't think I do anymore, but
me too.
And I think somebody said that it's on Paramount, which I don't subscribe to, but anyways, but this is like there's lots of these very Christian religious themes that still permeate the show. Things like prophecy, things like resurrection. Is an interesting one in the show. You see it with Starbuck, and this is sort of the thing, right? One of the features within, I think it's introduced in the second season, is the resurrection ship that the Cylons use in order to basically, like, when you kill one, it's like it doesn't really matter, because they just download their consciousness into another identical body, and you know, it's they have this whole technology where they're basically able to live forever. So that's part of it. But I like this. One of the things I like to focus on is this theme of religiously motivated, propagated genocide. In the book of Joshua, right? In the book of Joshua is a story. Now, first of all, as a scholar here, I always feel like I need to make this qualification. Very important to point out that the book of Joshua is 100% entirely a fiction. None of this happened. It's not a narration of history. It was actually probably, I think I would say, and I think most scholars would say that there are echoes or deep-seated cultural memories of things that happened around the Bronze Age collapse. And this is in the 12th century, a series of events and natural disasters occurred, which basically brought an end to the domination of the Mediterranean by the four great empires. That was the Egyptians, the Anatolians, the Babylonians, and probably like the Mycenaeans. The Assyrians aren't really on the they're out there, but they're not really playing in the same sandbox. But so this happened in and around the 12th century. As a result of this region in Canaan, what modern day Palestine, Israel, the setting for pretty much the entirety of the biblical narrative. Within Canaan, what happened? Canaan was basically under Egyptian hegemony up to this time. It was a region of contest between the Egyptians and the Anatolians, and at this time, with the Bronze Age collapse, it caused the Egyptians basically to recede back to their own borders and kind of stay there. The Anatolian Empire just disappeared completely, like it just wiped out. And as a result of this, a bunch of these village settlements started popping up in the area outside of these independent Canaanite city-states, which were mostly located down in the lowlands. And out of this emerges Israelite culture over a longer period of time. And Israelite culture is basically Canaanite for all intents and purposes. Right. Israelite religion is a Canaanite religion. It looks very much the same. The material culture is very similar. There are very slight changes in the pottery styles, but nothing significant enough that cause archaeologists to go, oh wow, this is groundbreaking or remarkable. It just seems like it's a continuity of Canaanite culture that ends up forming into these two kingdoms, Israel in the north and Judah in the south. So this is actually what happened. So within the book of Joshua, I think you've got some cultural memories of, I mean, it was a period of major upheaval. There was lots of the sea people, which are this group of Aegeans. So they come from Greece, southern Turkey area, enter into Canaan, and they just start wreaking havoc, destroying cities, giving the Egyptians all sorts of trouble. So there's memories, deep memories here of destructions of cities and this turmoil and this upheaval in the region. But on the face of it, these are stories that were probably told. I tend to think scholars will set the stories in the book of Joshua, either at the time and around the time of Josiah's reforms in the 7th century BCE, when he was embarking on this program of religious exclusivism, where he was trying to instill this.
Man, I love this stuff. Let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
Who's your favorite Cylon? This ancient history is wonderful. Yeah. I'm just it's really drifted far away from whatever we were, and I dig it. I love it. Don't get me wrong. But I got questions about what you and Ryan said. I mean, she may actually be here soon. So, I mean, you actually started out, if I remember right, by comparing the history of the Cylons, I think, to something that was going on. That's what led you down that rabbit hole.
Yes.
Yeah. I just
So
maybe
my
didn't
favorite
allow you
Cylon?
enough time to get there. Go ahead.
My favorite Cylon? God. They're all so great. I love Caprica 6. And I really like Brother Cavill. And he's probably those two. I like what's her name? The Tyrell's girlfriend. Why can't I remember her name?
Tyrell. Okay, wait.
You know
You're talking about the
one
Tyrell.
who shot. The one who shot. Did I get his name wrong? The one who shot at Dama in.
The Boomer.
Boomer. Thank you.
Boomer.
That's it.
Yes, Boomer.
Love
yeah.
Boomer too. So she's really interesting in that, and there's a couple that's one of the other really neat things about the show too. Now that you mention it, is the ways in which these Cylon, because there's all these multiple copies based on the six, right?
Right.
And there some of the differences between them is really intriguing, because like the boomer that the boomer that committed the that attempted to assassinate Adama, when she's resurrected, she's like a true believer. But the other boomer who ends up back in back in the fleet. Yes, Athena. Thank you. She's like reforming and becoming a what's that called when you like a turncoat, like a she's joined the other side, right?
She does, yeah. She betrays them, yeah.
Yeah, so it's kind of right, yeah. But it's interesting, and same with the Caprica, the 6 models, right? Like there's the Caprica 6, who's there's the and early on in the show too, right? They discover 6, and they detain her and keep her as a prisoner, basically.
Right. That's a different 6 though, right? We have the 6, right, Altar's 6. Yeah, we've got, and she plays those characters really well. I do want to mention
she's also Canadian, by the way.
Oh, really? I didn't know that. I want to mention that they have one of the things. Oh, do you? Oh, yeah. You're all just right there. There's like 9 of you, right?
Yeah.
The deal is that I found it interesting that we were talking about how they worship and they were pious. Some of them more religious than others. I don't think Brother Cavill and the 5 were very pious. And maybe they weren't, but the other 6, because remember Daniel had been killed. The other 6 worshipped the 5 for most of the show as if they were some sort of gods. They didn't even know who they were. Yeah, the final 5 and all this stuff. Right. Like they saw an image of them, all white robes and all this stuff, So they worshiped them. I mean, especially was it number 6 going around with the baby? Was it head 6? I don't remember. But there was a lot of worship of their own people. And then after they found out and they got to know them, that all changed. That whole dynamic changed, didn't it?
Yeah, there's kind of there's almost kind of a trope at work there about how you should never meet your heroes. Right. But then also when you make discoveries about who the gods actually are, and what they're all about, that kind of it changes things. So yeah, I was going to mention too, the other there's this is the whole what's the name of the other Battlestar, the Pegasus, when they encounter the Pegasus. and that whole storyline with the six that they have captured and are holding in captivity is harrowing, and it's extremely good, and it's
sad.
just another, and very sad, yeah. And it's
you
just
remember how it ends with her, don't you?
Yeah, I do. And I'm not giving anything away, but
we can give it away. We can. This is the show. She sets off a nuke. She wants it all to end, so she sets off a nuke.
So it just but this it's so good at humanizing everyone on both sides of the conflict, I think. Which is also really worthwhile, because one of the things, and I'm pulling this back a little bit to the connections that I make with the Book of Joshua. I was going to say that, so this is, I started by saying Joshua's all fiction, probably written to promote Josiah's reforms, or possibly later, even during the resettlement of Judah in the Persian period. But it's this fan fiction. It's this propaganda that's told, that basically, as a way of saying, as a way of distinguishing the true believers from all the dirty pagans, right? All the wicked Canaanites living in those cities. We've got to, eradicate them and destroy them. But within the internal narrative of the Book of Joshua, you have this, and this is one of the features of Yahwism, as it's presented in the Hebrew Bible, is and it's very strange in this world too. It's this fanatical exclusivism, whereby the people are encouraged, are demanded total covenant fealty to Yahweh and Yahweh alone. You can only worship Yahweh. You can't worship any of the other gods, and you can only worship Yahweh in the temple in Jerusalem. You can't worship him in other places either. It's very restrictive. It's very exclusive in this world, which was populated by the many gods, and lots of people. There was active worship of many gods in Israel throughout its entire history, at least up until the Babylonian destruction of Jerusalem. So you have this deeply polytheistic world. And then within this story in the Book of Joshua, this kind of fanatically monotheistic group of people that's embarked on this genocidal campaign to eradicate the indigenous people of Canaan. And I'm like, when I watch Battlestar Galactica, that's a lot of what I see, are these Cylons who oftentimes present, especially some of the 6 models and some of the boomer models. What's her number? I don't remember her.
Number 8.
Yes. Okay. They very often present as like these religious fanatics who are intent on this genocidal campaign of destruction and eradication of the human population in order to basically replace them.
The funny thing is that Brother Cavill, let me bring me back up. Brother Cavill seemed to be like the least religious of all of them.
He's an atheist,
but he played the role of a brother. He was Brother Cavill. It was a false religion. This man, just the way he was the atheist, but also and then he was Brother Cavill. That was great. But they also had one that was very religious. What was his name? Blonde guy.
Is that
Yobin?
Yes.
No, not Yobin.
No.
Maybe. I'm not sure. The chat will help us out. Corbin? Let's see. Let's see. Let's see if it's going to find me a nice, easy list. It is not. Somebody
Leoben was very
Leoben. He's the one I'm talking about.
Yeah. No, he was interesting. But but also he's kind of like, but in a, he had, and that's part of this. That's part of this. This religiously pluralistic world too, right? Where Leoben had a very touchy-feely sort of wooey kind of approach to the gods. He was super deeply philosophical, right?
Yeah. Well, in my opinion, Leoben was like he knew they were in a prophecy. He fully believed it. He felt he had a part in it, and he was fully embracing that. Other ones didn't. Some of them were religious. They believed in different gods. One of them, number 6 specifically, believed in a god, right?
Yeah.
Not the gods, but in his case, he was living the prophecy and dragging Starbuck through it.
Yeah. No, that's true. And I think this is there's a recognition here too, right? Yeah. On Ronald Moore's part of how religion can function differently for different people, like Brother Cavill, who is a clergy member, and effectively an atheist, but also is using religion to meet his own political goals. Which is I mean that's something that we see taking place constantly. It's something that you see occurring now in American politics. I think this is something that really is at work in the current, hopefully ending conflict in the Middle East, in Israel, where religious narratives are used by cynical people who don't even believe them as a way to promote their own terrible ideas, right? Yeah. And purple rhymes with orange. I would object to this claim that this is what religion is for. I think this is how some people use religion. But I mean, most of my family is still very deeply religious, and they would absolutely reject that notion that that's what they're doing, or that's what its function is. As a scholar of religion, I would absolutely say it's not. That is not what how religion can function like that. But it doesn't. It certainly doesn't have to, and I don't think it does for most people. So within there's this interesting intersection too, which I really like. Maybe we can come back. I need to talk.
Let me take a break. Yeah. I was just dying for you to take a breath, man. So I could. Sorry. I got a commercial read. No. You get going. I don't want to interrupt you.
We'll be here all day if you.
Yeah, we'll be back in 3, guys.
Do you have a loved one who's on their deathbed, but they've yet to give themselves up to the Lord?
Are you sure you don't want to come to Jesus?
No.
This is your final chance.
No. Worried they're headed to the fiery pits of hell.
Your very last chance.
No. I've been wicked and sinful. I deserve to burn in the hot place.
As you wish. Farewell, my heathen husband.
Farewell, my... Well, fear not, my wayward child. Introducing Father Flanagan's line of post-mortem baptismal kits. No more worries about being miserable alone forever. Be a good Christian and share that eternal pain and suffering with the ones you love.
I'm in hell. Not as hot as I thought it'd be. Kind of feels like Houston, minus the humidity. Hello. My favorite drink crafted to perfection. Ooh, and some dank ass weed.
I can't bear to be down on my face chanting, holy, holy, holy is the Lord, every day, all day, for all eternity, by myself.
Wow, is that George Carlin? And Alan Turing, look at that.
Carl say, "Oh, I am so honored. You've been my hero since I was a kid." Neil deGrasse Tyson, what are you doing here? Oh, I get it. I get it. Schrodinger's heathen. Very cute, you. Very cute. That's fantastic. Oh, what is that? What is? It's holy water. Oh, it burns. No, this isn't where I want to be. Pabst Blue Ribbon and a Marlboro? No!
Father Flanagan's post-mortem baptismal kit. Dead kid tested, Mother Teresa approved.
Is that the Pope and John Paul? Jim Jones and Jimmy Swaggart, huh? I can see that coming. Neil deGrasse, what are you doing? Holy, holy, holy is the Lord. Holy, holy, holy is the Lord.
Thanks, Father Flanagan.
Damn them to an eternity in heaven for only $59.99. They wouldn't appreciate it, but you'll feel better, and that's the point, isn't it? Get yours now. Your heathen loved one's time is running out.
Holy, holy, holy is the Lord. This is some bullshit. Holy, holy, holy is the Lord.
We are back. All right, here we are. And real quick, now Dr. Kipp is doing a great job with the Battlestar Galactica and the new show and the gods and all that stuff. It's wonderful. But I have a couple of questions about other shows real quick and to see what Dr. Kipp thinks. Dr. Kipp, have you seen Strange New Worlds?
No.
Okay.
Sorry.
Have you seen Picard?
Yes, but I only got through the first 3 episodes of season 3, which I'm told is the best one. So I have to go back and finish it.
Okay. Well, that's okay because we don't care about season 3 for our purposes. Do you remember? Let's talk about season 1. What was the premise of season 1? Do you remember?
So that was it was
because they're all the seasons are different.
Yeah. So this was Data's other creation, and he had developed, he had basically set up on a whole new world and built a whole new civilization of androids, and Picard, Picard ends up going out and finding it and working to protect this new I think so it's
if I may,
okay. I think
let me help you out.
Yeah.
If I can, let me help you out. Okay, so the premise of Picard was that the first season was that one of Data's creators or some business created some of children. No, as Data, the descendant of Data. Anyway, created robots, androids, and these androids were sentient, and they eventually created a whole bunch of them. And the sentient androids, for now, we'll just use it rather than calling them sentient androids. We'll just call them Cylons. These Cylons in Picard, they were afraid that humans were going to come and kill them. So their only choice, they felt, was to do what? Kill the humans.
Yeah.
Right? And throughout the premise, there was also, and it come to a climax at the end, that these new Cylons were getting a message and putting together this prophecy-like message that only Cylons could understand, that when they put this technology together, it would open a portal to a place to where other Cylons that had evolved 100,000 years ago and left our universe were there ready to help these Cylons rid themselves of the flesh bags that had created them. That was the whole. I mean, that's
almost sounds like they ripped it off from Battlestar Galactica.
I call it Battlestar Picard.
Battlestar Picard.
Season 1 is Battlestar Picard. I mean, really,
that's true.
That's crazy. Anyway, so there's that. So I didn't know if you heard that. The reason why I wanted to ask you about Strange New Worlds is because, if you, for those of you,
do you like it? I've been told it's very good.
It is good. It's got its goods. It's got its bads. It's kind of like the old Star Trek, or in the older shows, TNG, the original series, that kind of thing, where it's every episode, every season is I mean, every episode is a thing in and of itself, but they do kind of carry an overall arc. It's all good. They have their good
Not
episodes and bad
serialized,
episodes.
you know?
Not as serialized. They do have overarching enemies like the Gorn, I guess, or whoever,
Yeah.
but they do have encapsulate most episodes within the thing. So it's kind of cool in that way. But you know, with only having 10 episodes, the part of the deal with doing 22 to 25 episodes back in the old day, they needed filler episodes. So they'd write just funny, goofy episodes and throw them in there.
Yeah.
To do that now, when you only have 10 episodes and you're going to film a goofy episode that has nothing to do, doesn't, you know, that's kind of hurts. I love the film. I love the goofy ones. Don't get me wrong. It just kind of, we only got 10 episodes, man, to tell the story that they have to tell. So there's that. But the reason why I was asking about it was because most of the time, most of our characters are not religious in Star Trek. We can even talk about Benjamin Sisko. He's probably the primary person somebody's going to refer to. But even in Benjamin Sisko's case, he did not worship the prophets. He did not see them as gods. He recognized them as aliens that lived in a wormhole. Wormhole is science. It has the whole Einstein bridge, science, space, time kind of thing. That they could just know the future from. That's all. That's all. They didn't rule the whole universe. They were only the gods of the Bajorans. So there was no real worship them as gods. As far as Starfleet people were, he even called them wormhole aliens. The Starfleet people called them wormhole aliens. Other people called them prophets. And it took Benjamin Sisko a long time before he called them prophets, but never gods anyway. However, in our new Strange New Worlds, we do have our new captain making a couple of references to God in a Catholic kind of way. And it hit me rough because I really enjoy the Captain Pike, you know, and the first, I don't want to spoil anything for you. I mean, it's 3, even if you went to see it, it'd be 3 episodes in before you got to that part. But oh my goodness, it was, well, me and Ryan talked about it. Oh, it was hard. And then that was so at one point, this guy starts to kneel and pray. Shit's going wrong. He's like, well, Dad, I guess I'll listen to you and do what you want me to do. And he starts to, our Father who art in. I'm like, what the fuck are you doing? What are you doing? And that kind of blew me away. And then in other episodes, he says things like Godspeed or whatever. But before, when he said those things, it didn't bother me. I didn't think nothing of them. But now, after seeing that, I was like, "Oh my god!"
That's the thing. That's the thing I still say, by the way, just because I think it sounds cool.
Oh,
but it's fast. That's right. So, but I think that's that's probably a pretty faithful, honest reflection of what the world is actually like, right? Like I think
you're probably not wrong. I agree.
I think it is impossibly idealistic to imagine that there will never be religion.
Right.
I just think it's always, but just because of how we're hardwired as a species. And also how much religion permeates culture and vice versa. It's just a thing, to the point, actually, speaking as a scholar of religion here too, right? This is something I basically present in the introduction to my book. I've actually, sorry, I honestly, this is for real. I'm shilling it everywhere I go, but this was not.
That's what you do when you're out of book.
But it's true. It's what you do. But I titled the introduction of the book. Oh, you can't see it. It's too blurry. Can I get? There we go.
There we go.
I titled the introduction of the book "Cutting the Grass Around the Giant Space Penis."
There you go.
And
I believe you. Yes.
The reason for that is because I think this question of religion is one that vexes people. Scholars of religion continue. It's kind of amazing that religious studies as an academic discipline is already a couple of hundred years old, and scholars of religion continue to debate even this question of what religion is, because it's not easily definable. it's not just, and I have problems with how various people attempt to define it. Like, for example, I used to work at an evangelical Christian university when I was still a PhD student. I used to work for a theologian who was, for all intents and purposes, a Christian apologist.
Gotcha.
But in his books that he had written, he attempts to define religion as basically a worldview, just all those things that you believe must be a religion. Right. And I understand the attraction and the appeal to that, but I think it's a bit of a bait and switch, especially coming from evangelicals, because what it ends up doing is it levels the playing field in a way that they want it leveled. So if you can start to call everything religious, then by the same token, that means that your religion and some of your bad religious ideas end up on equal terms with with more scientifically grounded ideas. So I mean, that's just by way of example. Like you hear it's this trope all the time, right? Creationists like to talk about the religion of evolution. Like, that's just nonsense. But right. it raises this question of, well, what are we talking about when we talk about religion? And I'm not, without getting into it, it's not easy, especially the farther back in time that you go, to try and figure out what that is. In fact, like ancient people just didn't even have a word for religion in most places, because of how deeply ingrained it was in day-to-day life. It was just part of living. So yeah, I'm sorry, I don't know where I was going with that.
I do have other, I don't know either. If you have a place to come back to, let me know. I do have other questions though, for you specifically. So I did tell you about Battlestar Picard. Maybe you'll never see season 1 the same again.
I might not.
And all right, never mind. We won't talk about that. We won't talk about that now. Oh. Now, let me ask you, we briefly talked about this earlier, about head Gaius and head number 6. And these are, so for a lot of people, if they didn't watch the whole thing, all they really know about is head number 6. For the first 3/4 of the show, all you ever see is Gaius, and he's got this number 6 in his head, not the real number 6. And these two number 6s don't talk to each other.
No,
they're not related at all. It's in his head though. And you go through this whole show and you're thinking, he's the only one that's seeing this shit. And then later on, 3/4 of the way through the show, you finally get to see the original number 6, who he was with on Caprica, and she's seeing a head Gaius, and he's all confident, dressing cool, and the real Gaius is all like in prison and getting fucked up. And it's just now you've got this head Gaius, and you've got a head number 6. Well, that's what we call them. It's just kind of easy to give them those names. And they fall along I think, are they referred to as angels somehow or something? I don't know. But now the thing about these is that at the end of the show, we actually see them, head Gaius and head 6, 100,000 years in the future, as they're looking over another human civilization just about to develop Cylons. Yeah. What do you think they were?
Yeah. Head Gaius and head 6?
Yeah. What are your thoughts?
I don't know. I still I mean, I wonder from the creator's perspective, I continue to just wonder or think if these are just representations of the ways in which we as humans actually interact with divine beings. These are all just constructs within our minds, and they all tend to look pretty similar to one another. Like, I mean, it's kind of remarkable how much head Gaius and head 6 are alike. Because
I like each other, but not like the human ones that they were representing.
Exactly. They are, but this is it. I think it's in the same direction. It's akin to the reason why people like Gary Blabbermass and sorry, yes, I did that on purpose. And Craig Keener and who are some of these other guys who are investigating near-death experiences, right? One of the things that they settle on is how much alike all these near-death experiences are in terms of what people see and do, and they take that as an indicator that, well, this means there's definitely something out there because everybody's seeing the same thing. I wonder if this is Ronald D. Moore's sort of take on that, where it's more like, yeah, everybody's seeing the same thing because our brains are all, wired the same way, and your divine headcanon is probably going to look very much like everybody else's divine headcanon, even though you're different people. And
well, I'd like to interject a thought that I just had. It seems to me, as I look back, as the head guys and the head six. All right, so you take the real guys and the real six.
Yeah.
At the last time they were together, whenever the Cylons attacked, he was well dressed, well cut, arrogant. She was beautiful, sexy, always all. So it seems as though head Gaius and head six are actually kind of snapshots of what they were the last time they were together. So 3 years later, he's been through all this shit and he's all grimy. And she's still seeing head Gaius because he's all clean, because that's what she remembers.
Yeah, exactly.
Physically from before the thing. That's what she sees. That's really interesting.
That's how the brain works too, right?
Yeah.
So
but the really tricky part, though, is that 100,000 years later, we see these head characters.
Yeah.
I'm just curious
real.
how. That's real.
And honestly, I haven't put much thought into that.
And
but now that's something. And that's that too. And I actually, honestly, I have to go back and watch the show again, because there's so much that you, even though I've seen it probably 6 or 7 times, there's a lot, right? And it's been a while for me. I think it's probably been a good 4 years since I've watched it. But,
I would like to think, if I could, that the answer to the question of who these creatures are and what happened to Starbuck and all that stuff, I would like to think, as they've said before, this has happened before, this will happen again. And we've had Cylons who've evolved thousands of years ago in one of those other cycles who never got stopped and just continued on growing. And their technology is so advanced that it seems like magic to us as we watch, because they projected guys into six into Gaius's head. They'd threaten things. And I mean, there's a lot that really happened where the six in his head knew shit he couldn't have known.
Sure.
So there was a lot of, I'm just kind of, that's the only real, I mean, without there being God. It just seems like that would be the best answer, is that the science is there. Hi, Jessie Bear. Thank you very much for being a member again. We missed you. Where you been, girl? We got Dr. Kipp.
I'm here.
He's talking about Battlestar Galactica.
Yeah.
Mostly.
And the Bible. Battlestar Galactica.
And the Bible.
I can't help it because I fucking love the Bible. So, It's I just talk about it everywhere I go.
Well, that's the thing. Interestingly enough, Battlestar Galactica is based on religion, or the original one was. They had a lot of religious influences. So,
and that's something. So one of the things that I find really interesting and fascinating in the Reimagined series is how this conquest narrative, which I think tracks the biblical conquest narrative, but in a subversive fashion. So, in the biblical conquest narrative, the monotheists, the Yahwists, the fanatical Yahwists are the good guys, and all the wicked pagan polytheistic Canaanites are the bad guys. In Battlestar Galactica, you get this turn, right, where it's this polytheistic normal world. It's almost like taking a look at the stories in the book of Joshua from the other side. Like what does that look like when the fanatical monotheists come in and just
Oh
start
yeah.
eradicating everyone, right? What
Yeah.
must it be like to be a Canaanite? In
Oh, hey,
this
hey, did you see
situation?
Caprica? The series Caprica?
Season 1.
I think there was only one season.
Was there only one season?
Yeah, they shut it down really quick because Caprica was about that they were all, the society was
Another one I have to
polytheists,
watch too.
and there were monotheists who were starting trouble, and they were the ones who, it seems like, really kind of programmed the first Cylons to go
Yeah.
crazy. And I mean,
Yes.
and so to me, I was watching it with the wife, and I'm sitting there thinking they're really vilifying monotheists. You see them doing all. I'm like, I don't know how long this show is going to be able to stay on the air.
Maybe that's it.
And it didn't. It was great though. But yeah, so I thought the way you were talking about how monotheists come in to wipe out the interesting.
You know what's really cool about this too, and I don't think this was intentional on Ronald Moore's part, but I love the way that this actually tracks onto something that looks like an historical reality, where, interestingly, in the same way that the humans created the Cylons, the Israelites were Canaanites who were eradicating their own, essentially, in the story, right? Remember, Joshua's fiction. Within the story, they're eradicating their own, and they're othering their own, and seeing themselves as kind of the future, and the way to move forward is to get rid of this world of the past.
Joshua, you said what? Joshua, what book is that?
Book of Joshua. So
okay, I'm sorry. I just want to reference that later.
So there's another part of this too, like deep within like the lore of the series, of the show. Part of the history, the religious history, is that in the distant past there was this place called Kobal, and all the gods and all the people lived together, right? But then there is this unnamed 13th Lord of Kobal who rebels and basically tries to get rid of all the other lords of Kobal, and this is basically what causes their this is why the humans ended up leaving Kobal and founding the 12 colonies, because of this instigating incident. And
they literally collapsed their entire society.
Yeah, but I think too, like this is something as well that I think maps onto Hebrew religion in an interesting way. This idea that there is this one God, this one deity from within the Canaanite pantheon. We have limited evidence of Yahweh's existence within a Canaanite pantheon, but there seems to have been, some view of this. We have some of this in the biblical text as well. Deuteronomy 32 talks about El basically dividing the nations among all his children, the sons of the gods, which includes Yahweh. Yahweh gets his part. Psalm 82 talks about Yahweh standing up in the court of El and passing judgment, basically calling out all the rest of the gods in the divine council. He's basically standing up like a Satan in the divine council. It's very interesting, because that's what Satan in the Old Testament does. He calls people out. So he's an advocate. He's an adversary or an advocate for So that's what's happening. So we have some evidence of this. It's interesting that that Yahweh, this Yahweh alone movement, really is part of pushing out the divine council, the rest of the gods. There's this one exclusive being. It's also interesting too, I think, the ways in which, and I think this happens later, but within Israelite religion, within later Jewish religion, there's this settling on the sanctity of the name of Yahweh as something that you can't speak anymore. To this day, within religious settings, within ritual settings, Jewish people will not say Yahweh. They will replace it with things like Adonai or Hashem, you know, because you don't speak the name Yahweh, and within the Battlestar Galactica universe, there is this 13th Lord of Kobol whose name nobody says, right? And he seems to be the figure that the Cylons have adopted as the one true God. That's never explicitly spelled out, but it sort of seems like that's the direction it's going, or that's the undercurrent of what's happening in this world.
When they went to Kobol in this most recent show, and they went to the something of Athena, and she had flashbacks about it. I got the impression that there was a point where humans and Cylons lived together, but they considered the Cylons gods.
Yeah,
and that were the 12 gods. That's where the gods were, you know. And one of those Cylons got greedy, almost like Brother Cavill,
right? Yeah.
But he actually wasn't built until after they left. He was built by, anyway, that gets complicated. I'd like to see, I may have to go look up a timeline of the Battlestar Galactica Cylons. Just for
it's
fun.
Difficult, in part because of how the show is structured too, right? Because there are these, particularly towards the end, you've got these time jumps, which I'm really fascinated by, but it can be hard to track sometimes. You know, the order of events. But one of the more I think it was the season finale episode when they finally end up on Earth, and it's like it's like a nuclear holocaust, and I think it's
that one,
what's his name, Chief
Tyrrell.
Chief Tyrrell says, wow, he just says it, and the show ends. Wow, he says, oh my God, we're all Cylons, or something to that effect, and the show just ends, and you're kind of going, holy fuck, like, what the fuck?
Well, you know, I would actually argue that all the humans that we see in the show are actually Cylons. The human species, the real human species, has been completely replaced by Cylons who've just continued to evolve.
Yeah.
Isn't that crazy?
Exactly.
I love that idea.
I know. I like it too. So it's and even the way, I know a lot of people were frustrated with like the season finale, the way the show ended. I don't know how you felt about it.
I was a little disappointed, really, because I was expecting them to run into a more modern Earth. And we saw them, well, they did in the Battlestar Galactica, the original series, but in this one here, we saw them like every time this thing will happen before, it'll happen again. All those were like 3,000 to 5,000 year spans. You know, they weren't that big of spans. So whenever you get there and they land on this planet and they're like, Earth, 100,000 years later, and they land and there's like proto-man, and they realize they're going to have to breed with proto-man. And the next time you see anybody, which is the head guys, the head six, is thusly 100,000 years later.
That's right.
And that, for me, that was a little disappointing. You know, it's just,
I don't think, maybe
sense.
I've never,
cool.
you know, and maybe I've never, you know, we're growing. I think we're developing sensitivities to this as we go on. But you know, and even in this moment, I never really thought before how much that could potentially feed into like a white savior sort of complex too, right? Like this is just one of these things that I just never even really thought of before, is how problematic this can be, because that's literally how the show ends, is all the white colonialists. I mean, they're from the 12 they're colonialists.
Right. I don't think they're all white, but they are colonial. They are all humans, I guess.
They're mostly white.
Yeah.
But they end up, you know, they end up on this world with all the brown people, right? the primitive brown people that they have to integrate with. And
Yeah,
I mean, they just
saw
kind of
that.
leave it there, but now I'm looking back at that. I'm thinking, wow, that's troubling. So
Yeah.
it. But you know, these are these are things too. I think people don't see. They don't see their own. None of us do very clearly see our own biases and our own privilege and how much that colors our own perspective on the world. So like I don't, I get it. I totally get it. And I expect that, you know, if we had this conversation with Ronald Moore, he'd be like, oh my God, no, I mean, that's not what I'm doing. But
I would love to have him on the show. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
That'd be fantastic.
Yeah, it would. So yeah, I wonder what what's he doing now? Do you know?
I don't, but it does look like there is that there's projects that were in motion. Looks like Peacock was going to develop something in 2024. They were going to redo another reboot or some business. Ronald D. Moore,
Galactica thing.
Yeah, I'm sure he's been doing lots of stuff. Let's see, Outlander. His most recent thing is Outlander: Blood of My Blood, 10 episodes. Outlander.
Is that that's the show about the Scottish time traveling woman? No, is that what that is? Outlander.
I have no idea. I've never seen it. Yeah, I've never seen it.
I think
I guess it is.
Yeah,
it's got a woman.
Yeah, that's an interesting show. My wife used to watch it, but you know, as this goes, so many of these shows just go on for too long, I think.
Yeah,
and they get bad. But
that's not wrong. Hey, let me pop us off real quick for another break, and we'll do some stuff, and we'll be back in just a minute, guys. Let's do some Wild Bill. That'll give us a few minutes to take. Hello, and welcome to Shakespeare with a Redneck. Finally, I'm Wild Bill Wigglestick, and this is my trusty sidekick, Willie the Kid. And we'll be your handsome hosts, your gilded guide, your cowboys, concierges to Shakespeare. Oh, how cute. Wait, is that at 2, Ollie? Run along, little doggy. Bill, where the hell have you been? Well, you know, I've been roaming the earth, going back and forth upon it, to and fro and whatnot. I like to travel too. Wait a second. Yep, back and forth upon earth, doing unto others before they do unto me. Bill, are you quoting the Bible? Trying to quote the Bible? Indeed I am. Despite my appearance, I am a man of culture and know many things, not just Shakespeare. Really? So you have a Shakespeare monologue related to atheism or skepticism? Indeed I do. Bear witness. Oh, this is going to be good. This is the excellent foppery of the world, that when we are sick in fortune, often the product of our own behavior, we make guilty of our disasters the sun, the moon, and stars, as if we were villains on necessity, fools by heavenly compulsion, knaves, thieves, and treacherous by spherical predominance, drunkards, liars, and adulterers by an enforced obedience of planetary influence. And all that we are evil in by a divine thrusting on. An admirable evasion of whoremaster man to lay his goatish disposition to the charge of a star. My father compounded with my mother under the dragon's tail, and my nativity was under Ursa Major, so that it follows I am rough and lecherous. I should have been that I am, had the maidenliest star in the firmament twinkled on my bastardizing. Wow, that really is spot on about what we cover here on the channel, about how, you know, people... So here's a quick rundown of the situation. Bill, this non-believer, ignores the teachings of his learned father and ends up getting 4 people killed. Bill, that's not... Okay. Carry on. Shakespeare was a heathenistic non-believer bound for the fiery pits of hell, just like yourselves.
I don't think. And in order to throw the murderous church of the time off his heathen trail, he writes the skeptic as a sneaking, lying, adulterated father and brother, hating and betraying villain who ends up getting his comeuppance in the end. Bill, oh, come on, man. You're always blah, blah, Bible stuff, blah, blah, boring. You got to spice things up. Bill, tacos are spicy. Everybody loves tacos. Bill, tacos and boobies. Okay, you're not wrong there either. Tasty and delicious culture, baby, coming at you. Avoid the storm of familial discontent. Blow winds and clap your cheeks by clicking that subscribe button and hitting that. Wait a second. Don't you mean crack your cheeks? Nope. Bill. Send safely, my friends. Take care.
Peace.
Back and now we are back. There we are. Yeah. Yep. Dr. Tapioca Weasel. Very cool. I know. I've been on shows with them, with Maya even.
Every Sunday night.
Yep. So we bounced on it briefly, but let me ask you: Did you get to see the Caprica series?
I did.
Okay.
It's one of those things, right? Where it was a long time ago. I watched it once.
Mm-hmm.
I really liked it.
I did too.
But I so much of it I just don't remember. Anymore.
Yeah.
But I need
thinking back now, I wonder how, because they'd go into these mental places and play games, and they were transferring their consciousness, starting to transfer their consciousness into robots.
Mm-hmm.
So it kind of makes me wonder how much of the actual first Cylons from this time were actually humans in robot bodies.
Right. Yeah.
Because that's kind of where I was headed.
Yeah, it totally was. So
interesting.
But that series would be interesting to go back and rewatch too. I think just in view of that, because that was all made. All of this stuff was made before AI just kind of took over the internet, right? But especially Caprica was exploring these questions of artificial intelligence in our world on a deeper level than the Reimagined series was. But it'd be very interesting to go back and kind of look at that from that perspective, right? Like I don't know.
Okay, and now what I got all kinds of questions.
All right.
What about when we got about another probably 15 minutes or so, unless you got to go. You got to go?
No, I'm good.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Do you remember Admiral Kane? What are your thoughts about the whole Admiral Kane, the Pegasus? All that business. Yeah.
No.
I was telling Ryan, one of my favorite scenes in all of science fiction is whenever they sacrifice the Pegasus and the Battlestar Galactica is falling into the atmosphere and they're launching their Vipers out the side, and above all that, you've got the Pegasus fighting off all those. That's badass stuff.
So good.
Good.
Admiral Kane too.
Admiral Kane too.
I don't remember. No. I was just thinking the actress
Michelle Forbes.
That's it. Was also on I think she was both on DS9 and on Next
TNG.
Generation, wasn't she?
Yeah, she was Ro-Laren on TNG. She was offered the role. They offered her the role to be the first officer on Deep Space Nine when they were creating the show. She refused, and that's where they got Nana Visitor and the role of Kira. Yeah, she didn't want to be. What a missed opportunity for her.
Yeah, I would say no doubt. Love Kira, but interesting. So, but she's this incredible character. Do
you remember the first one from the first movie? He was the Admiral Kane from the first series. A long time ago.
No.
Do you
Like
remember?
I remember almost that. But like I told you, the only thing I remember of the
Mhm.
original series was that the Cylons were cool and they made these neat noises when they flew.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I remember Lauren Green because he's Canadian and we all know each other. And I remember that there was a kid who had was it a dog? It was like or was it like an alien?
A dog, they called it Daggett.
Yeah, that's all I remember.
Yeah. Let me do real quick. I want to tell you, so in the original, oh man, that's not it. Original series. Reason why, because the actor who played in the original series, son of a bitch,
Played Admiral Kane.
Yeah. Let me go here.
See, I was unaware that there was even an Admiral Kane in the original series.
Yeah. And why is it being such a jerk? One second. Why I hate, don't you hate that new AI crap? It's just such a jerk.
Left-handed Jedi, says Lloyd Bridges.
Thank you so much. I just needed the name, you know, and he's all young, Lloyd Bridges. And all right, so in the original series, Admiral Kane, they just like in this one here, he shows up with the Pegasus and you get to meet the Pegasus. Now they don't really have the rubbing of the shields like Adama and the woman Admiral Kane. They don't disagree like that, but they kind of do in a way, because this Admiral Kane is all about, he's like a cowboy, you know, he's just wanting to go attack the Cylons everywhere. Let's go over here and let's go get them over here and let's go get them over here. And if I remember right, the last time we see him, the Battlestar and the fleet, because they've got a whole fucking fleet to protect, they're going on their way, and he's just charging off into battle in the Pegasus. And that's the last time we see them, if I remember correctly, in the original series. Yeah.
So is it now in the original series, because I don't remember almost anything about it, is it the same? It's not the same sort of premise, is it, that the Battlestar Galactica is like this old fleet, this old Battlestar in the fleet, that it's basically, because that was the other thing I really loved about the reimagined series, in connecting it to the original series. The Battlestar Galactica is this old ship that's basically being decommissioned and turned into a museum, right? And one of the reasons it's so effective at surviving the Cylon attack is because of the old technology on the ship too, right?
And that's great. That's really kind of the way they play it off at the beginning, is that the Battlestar Galactica, that ship is, you know, 20 years later. They even go back in time to see 20 years later, you get to see Husker, I think they called him, Adama, 20 years later. But that really doesn't follow along the story. It sounds good in theory, but it kind of doesn't really work out that way. I want to mention in the original series, it kind of opens, they've had strife between the humans and the Cylons. And the Cylons have called a big, huge meeting. And so most of the Battlestars are going to meet at this meeting or some business like that. And Baltar has betrayed them. And while all the Battlestars are going to be at this meeting, the Cylons attack the homeworlds and kill all the people at the homeworlds or whatever. And then they get the ships and they destroy all the ships. So what you do get in the end is the Battlestar Galactica on its own with a fleet of ships. But in that case, it's not a rundown derelict Battlestar Galactica. It's a top of the line Battlestar Galactica, which absolutely fits in line with the show. 20 years later, or 40 years later, you've got the new show and you've got a 40-year-old Battlestar, you know, and maybe they did play it and I just didn't see it.
You know? The way that, like, the whole mini-series pilot, oh God, it's just so good. The way it starts, like in the first 10 minutes of that show, in the first 3 minutes of that show, right? There is an armistice line that they've established with the Cylons. Is it every year? They send a rep. They send a rep to go and meet on this space station, this tiny little space station, this pod that's sitting on the armistice line. And we're told right at the beginning, like every year the colonialists, they show up, they send their representative, and he sits there, and for 40 years nobody has ever showed up before. And then one day, the Cylons, and you see the guy, he pisses his pants when after 40 years, Cylons walk in through the door on the other side. And then they blow the station up, and then the war starts, and it's just, oh my god, it's just so good.
If you get the chance to watch it, anybody out there watching, watch this guy. Like he's saying, the guy's expression, the old metal style Cylons walk in first, and at that alone, he's just like, and then in walks number 6 in a red dress.
Yeah. But that's the thing too, right? It's not. I mean, it's like this double. It's like this double whammy, right? Because the Cylons walk in, and these are not the same as what we remember, right? The Cylons.
Well, that's true. Even the metal ones are much more advanced than the old ones. Yeah.
No, it's great. But then when she walks in, he's just like, what the fuck, man? So no, it's awesome. It's incredible.
And now I do want to mention I had a friend. I haven't seen him in many months.
I've had some of those.
Yeah. He was a big Battlestar Galactica original series fan. He was really into Dirk Benedict, who played Starbuck. All this business. Starbuck was his childhood hero. As you said, the first 3 minutes of this new show, you get a lot. Yeah. And in the first 3 minutes of this new show, you get to find out that Starbuck is being played by a woman. And he could not handle that. He refused to watch the show. That was just too much for him. He just could not do it,
Yeah. And oh my God, like it's pretty wild too, because not just played by a woman, but played by Katie Sackhoff, who up to that point was kind of like, I don't know. She did like a lot of these girly shows, girly movies, right? Like she was a very, and the Starbuck character in the reimagined series is just an ass kicker. Like just, I like she would kick old school Dirk Benedict Starbuck's ass.
Oh yeah,
absolutely.
Well, yeah, like she was there was a very serious side to this Starbuck that we never saw in the old Starbuck. He was always lighthearted, a womanizer, goofing off, and but never like this. She got very serious.
Yeah. But what a great character though. Like,
well, yeah,
just it's I really like her. One thing before one other thing that we haven't touched on much, which I thought is useful before we finish up here, is like this whole thing. Like there's that's some of the other stuff that's going on in this show as well. Are these messianic narratives and ideas that come forward in the show in a couple of different ways. I think there's a few different types of Messiah figures, and like I think Athena is Boomer is kind of a Messiah, the one who is basically sacrificed to, the plan is that this is going to meet the expectations, to fulfill the destiny of the Cylons. It doesn't quite work. And then you've got Kara, who literally comes back from the dead to lead the colonists to Earth, right? Like
white and pure.
White and pure. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And it and some of the I do love too. Like sometimes I feel like I like it when our television shows and our fiction don't answer all the questions that we have. Sometimes I feel like some things are best left open-ended, and that's one of the things it kind of bugged me, but at the same time, I appreciated that we never really got to know or understand what the hell that was about. Like with Kara, like this whole resurrection. What was she? Who was she? Was she the same person? And she was, but she wasn't, right? Like it's so there's these explorations of resurrection tied to that too. And within Christian theology, there's different ideas about what that means, but that's another thing. But then there's Gaius, right, who actually becomes sort of the colonial de facto representative of the monotheistic religion of the Cylons. Towards the end of the show, he starts his own cult is kind of pushed into this position of, I mean, the cult starts without him, but he kind of decides, because he's all about self-preservation, he decides this is the way forward, and he becomes this this Messiah figure as well within this monotheistic religion that is a threat to the colonialists. It's very much in many respects, Gaius is almost like he's maybe the most like a Jesus figure in the show. I think in terms of the historical Jesus, the Jesus of Christianity. One of the things about this person is that he is executed because he threatens the religious institutions of both the Romans and the Jews, and that's something like within the Battlestar Galactica show, Rosalind takes a very adversarial position and approach to within this supposedly a religiously tolerant, religiously pluralistic society, really takes an adversarial approach to Gaius's religion, in large part because she's so cynical about Gaius and understands who he is and correctly. But I don't know, does Gaius become a true believer through that?
I don't know. One of the things I would think that might bolster her thinking about that or disdain for that other religion is because by the time they get to that point, she has been read prophecies by Pythia and seen them come true. She's seen her faith unfold in front of her. So to hear about this other God with nothing, because she's seen hers right there. That was kind of, but I have to say, the actor who plays James Callis, who plays Baltar, did a fantastic job. Yeah, I love his acting in that. And Colonel Ty, he did a great job too. Great.
No,
job.
The casting on that show is phenomenal. Edward James Olmos is an ideal Adama. It's too. I think he might be. It's unfortunate because I think he might actually be a bit of a religious nut, but I shouldn't say that. Sorry, but he I know he's done some Pure Flix shows.
Has he?
Sad,
okay.
But and Rosalind too, right? Like I didn't know. What's her name? The actress who plays
McDowell, Mary
McDowell. So the only thing I remembered her doing before BSG aired was Dances with Wolves.
That's right.
And it was
Stands with a Fist.
Stands with a Fist. That's right. So it was very. I don't know. I was like, oh wow, it's very cool to see this.
Now, did you see some of the other sci-fi references in this show? Like if you're familiar with Firefly, you can see the Serenity ship in the opening movie of Battlestar.
Right. Yes. I did notice that. That's so cool.
Yeah. Matter of fact, when she's getting her cancer diagnosis, somebody correct us, Mary McDowell. Yeah, when she's getting her cancer diagnosis, in the background, you can see it come in through the window and land. Very cool stuff. Me and the wife are watching that now. So,
yeah.
Yes.
So,
Well, you know what?
Another one I have to go back and watch Firefly.
I know. We're doing that now. We watched episode 2 last night. Me and the evil one. We're kind of prepping up for next Friday whenever Ryan and hopefully if Ryan is here, I suspect she will be. She just finished Firefly, or will have finished Firefly by then.
Awesome.
So I'm going to really enjoy that. I'm going to read my super chats real quick, and then I'm going to close it out and go have a good Friday. See what we're going to do here. We had, it was a slow day. Ms. Jessie Bear upped her bronze level membership. Hello. And she said, hello, heathens. I've missed you all. Thank you very much for that. I really appreciate you, Dr. Kipp, coming on and sharing your thoughts about the Battlestar Galactica. We'll have to do this again about another show. What else you like?
Well, I mean, in terms of the sci-fi,
you haven't seen Alien Earth yet, have you?
I'm at about episode 5. I watch shows very slowly these days. It usually takes me several days to get through. So I'm watching Alien Earth right now at the same time that what else am I watching? There's a couple shows. Oh, right, Gen V started up again. So that's the Boys spinoff.
Okay.
So and it's that kind of, it's extremely good. So I haven't continued on Alien Earth, but I know I've heard some of the things that you said about the more recent episodes.
Oh yeah, I don't want to spoil it for you. I may have already. It's just for me. Yeah, matter of fact, I'm halfway through. I say halfway through. I'm started a script for my I Spy Sci-Fi channel. I'm going to do a review of Alien, and man, it's brutal. But anyway, that's neither here. Secular Feelinist threw $2 at us and said, "Here's a super since today has been lean." Thank you, Secular Feelinist. Appreciate that.
Okay.
So we're checking the enjoy. I mean, if you enjoy, I don't want to spoil it for you. If you can, Alien Earth, if you're into the alien thing, of the Alien, Blade Runner, and Predator stuff, of those 3, because they're all one universe.
I loved Prey.
Yes.
The movie that they made during the pandemic. I thought was fun. I haven't liked many of the Predators since the original, but that was one I really liked. So I was Alien, sorry, not Alien. Aliens was the very first R-rated movie I ever saw in the theater.
Really?
And I snuck in. And I just about it's a seminal moment for me. In the theater, the jump scare with the when it sucks up against the glass when they first
inside the jar.
That was my heart was in my mouth at that point. But huge fan of the Alien franchise. In terms of other sci-fi, it's been a little bit lean since Battlestar Galactica. I'm watching Alien Earth. I'm trying to think of some of the other things that I don't know. I'll think of some stuff. But
Strange New Worlds, give that a look if you get the chance. I have to say my favorite Star Trek is Star Trek Deep Space Nine, and we're fixing to start watching that again. I have to say the first season is a little rough, but we've seen them all now, so we can skip them.
Yes. So that's another one that I didn't finish DS9. I think I got through 4 or 5 seasons, and I feel like I should. Just because it is very good. But they
get the Dominion War going starting season 3. They start building up to this Dominion War thing. It's really good.
Where they started going in this more serialized direction with the show too, right?
They did it without fucking it up, because Enterprise couldn't do it without fucking it up. Enterprise, you couldn't watch a single episode and know what was going on because they'd gotten into these full arcs. But at least with Deep Space Nine, you could sit down and watch an episode and get a show out of it, and you'd see these parts of the big overall story, but you'd get the show. So
Voyager was okay, especially after the super annoying Neelix and what's her name? I just couldn't stand those characters.
Here's the deal. What was her name?
I don't even remember.
Here's the deal. Neelix, she was there right from the very beginning, and she was okay. She was okay. Neelix, I have true disdain for. His way is acting. They split up, and like you know, Neelix leaves the show, right? And I kept waiting for that episode to come and waiting for that, and I watched season 5 and season 6, and it didn't come. And I got into season 7, and it didn't come. And you know when Neelix leaves the show? 2 episodes before the finale, I was so pissed. I mean, once it's Kess. Once Kess leaves the show, you're right. He does kind of get quiet, and we don't really hear much from him as much. You know,
so much better. But it's still, it was okay. But this is this is a lot of what I do when I watch television, when I watch movies. Like I'll be going in a month to the annual meeting for the Society of Biblical Literature. This is a meeting every year for professional biblical scholars. It's this weird weekend conference, and there's usually 8 to 10,000 people who come to these meetings, and we give papers, right? We read papers, research papers, but this is a lot of what happens in these conferences. I like to go to a section on like religion and popular culture. I've written articles about this. I used to be a huge Walking Dead fan, and actually wrote and published an academic paper about the intersections between The Walking Dead and Second Temple Judaism. So this is a lot of, if you anybody who has bought the book and is reading the book, you'll see this. It comes through. I spend a lot of my time making connections between television shows and movies that I love, like Raiders of the Lost Ark, like The Simpsons, like The Walking Dead, like Game of Thrones, with things that I read and I see in the Bible. So well, that's a whole different episode of that stuff too. So you know what, I'm gonna go ahead and wrap it up. Thank you for joining me today. I very much appreciate you. We'll have to do it again. Dr. Kipp. For sure. Have a good one, and we will see you later, my friends. Take care, sin safely. You guys have a great weekend. Yes, good morning. And we will see you guys Monday or Tuesday. We'll see, because I think the ladies are still going to do their show. When I close up the show, it's going to pipe you over to Ember, my friends. So say hi to Ember whenever you get over there, and you'll have a wonderful Friday. Sin safely. Take care.
Got a house that smells like old cheese and shame. Father Flanagan's flesh candles change the game. Goat-scented thrills for your soul's delight. Light it up, baby, make your room right. When you've sinned and need to atone, light a candle and avoid the stone. Smell the goat in a holy zone. Father Flanagan, here to set the tone. Confession booth, busy, no need to stress. Light a candle and forget your mess. Gross odors.
Hello, and welcome to Shakespeare with a Redneck. What the? I am Wild Bill Wigglestick, and I'll be your handsome host, your gilded guide.
Got a house that smells like old cheese and shame. Father Flanagan's flesh candles change the game. Goat-scented thrills for your soul's delight. Light it up, baby, make your room right. When you've sinned and need to atone, light a candle and avoid the stone. Smell the goat in a holy zone. Father Flanagan, here to set the tone. Confession booth, busy, no need to stress. Light a candle and forget your mess. Gross odors who's your new best friend. When you've sinned and need to atone, light a candle and avoid the stone. Smell the goat in a holy zone. Father Flanagan here to set the tone. Lambs and calves may have their day, but goats the scent that leads the way. Clean your slate with a sniff so pure. Father Flanagan's got the cure.